So, a GPU. Well, before we discuss a GPU, we should go back one step before they existed. They were actually invented, in quotes, in 1999 by NVIDIA. But before that, we generally had CPUs and a couple of specialized CPUs. And if you wanted to show something on a screen attached to your CPU, you of course had to do some calculations and feed them to the screen. And this is okay if you want to show just sort of black and white pixels. But when you start coming to color, then you have a lot more information to display. And because you have a lot more information to display and you have a location for that information, you use a lot more memory. And this is where it starts to get a little bit weird for a CPU, because a CPU doesn't come with that much built-in memory. It has to rely on RAM. But then to talk to that RAM, it needs to go back and forth all the time. So you can imagine this kind of slows down this display, or doesn't allow you to display as much as you want, as fast as you want. So you can imagine you're showing this 30 times per second, so it looks fluid, and you have 1 million pixels you have to calculate. So that's 30 million pixels per second that you have to calculate. So this is where GPUs started to come into the frame. A GPU is really, really good at processing things in what we call parallel. So it can take a whole bunch of tasks and process them all at the same time. And in addition to that, a GPU has built-in memory, or RAM, which you discovered the meaning of yesterday. And it has a lot more memory than any processor that is around even today. So the GPU is kind of like a processor and RAM smashed into one, but then it also has other parts, things called shaders. And shaders are nothing more than vector or matrix calculators, and they allow you to apply special effects to your images that a CPU would have no chance in hell of doing. So the result of all of that is much, much faster computation in the order of hundreds to thousands of times, and of course a pretty looking picture on your screen that refreshes much, much faster. So a GPU is the graphical center of your PC, and if there's one thing you shouldn't skimp on a PC, it's the GPU. If you're going to play a game, you need a GPU. If you want to run things fairly smoothly, you need an external GPU and not an internal one. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of processors, CPUs, kind of come with their own graphics card these days, kind of built in. But it's not that great, it's a bit rubbish. You can play a few games, but any graphics card you buy for $50 is going to far outshine those integrated graphics. So always spend a little bit extra and you'll have a nice, smooth Windows experience.